welcome back the chairman of the boards, Eamon Coughlin. NBC Sports presents the 76th Milrose game. This is Frank Shorter, and we're together again at the Milrose games. And Frank, whenever we think of the Milrose games, I think almost everybody else, it's the Wannamaker mile. But today we have 3 key 1-mile races. First, the high school mile.
Well, Charlie, it's very unusual. About once every 10 years, you have 2 high school runners that can run close to 4 minutes. 2 of these boys are from the metropolitan area. A fellow with a name that Eamon Coughlin would love, Miles Irish. Then Mike Starr, both from this area and both capable of running at least under the American high school record of 4:06 and quite possibly breaking 4 minutes.
Now, the women's mile, Mary Decker-Tabbitt, she may be running all alone once again.
Well, last week Mary ran 9:31 for 2 miles, which to us fellas translates she's very fast and very fit. And when Mary's like that, she's really better than any of the other girls in America, but we'll see. She may be out there for a solo effort, but that's the way she runs best, and she may run a record that way.
Now, we come to the Wannamaker mile, the return of Eamon Coughlin, injured last year, making a comeback this year. Is he fit?
I think he is. He's run very well this fall. Eamon was hurt very severely. It's really a question as to how well he can come back. He's up against Dr. Thomas Wessenhager from West Germany, who actually outdoors has run faster than Eamon, but as everyone knows, Eamon is really good indoors.
And at the Milrose Games, the spotlight will be on 2 field events. For that story, let's go to Bruce Jenner.
Thank you, Charlie, and I'll be trying to keep you people abreast of everything that's happening down here in the infield. Now, this is probably the busiest piece of real estate in all of New York, so my work's going to be cut out for me, but we're going to be spotlighting 2 events in particular, because the track riders here in New York have been throwing around 2 numbers all week long, 19 and 29. The 19 belongs to Billy Olson, trying to become the first person ever to go 19 feet in the pole vault indoors. His opening attempt, 18 feet, 1/2 inch. The Milrose Games has a tradition of breaking records in the pole vault. The 15, 16, and 18-foot barriers have all fallen here. And 29 belongs to Carl Lewis, trying to become the first person ever to jump 29 feet indoors, his opening jump. Carl Lewis showing that great world-class speed as he comes down that runway. The distance, 27, 11, and 1/2, a new meet record, not a bad opener. Those 2 athletes have been getting an awful lot of press this week, and we're hoping for big performances today. But there's another athlete who's been getting a lot of press this week who will not come up with a performance. And with that story is Charlie Jones. Charlie?
Yes, Bruce, there is one journalistic story that involves a man who is not here. His name is Ronaldo Skeets Nehemiah. Last year, Nehemiah set the world indoor record in the 60-yard high hurdles. Also, he's the only man to break 13 seconds flat outdoors, 110-meter high hurdles. But then he decided to change sports, become a professional in football. He signed in the National Football League with the San Francisco 49ers as a wide receiver. He had a pretty good season. He caught 1 touchdown pass in the game against the Los Angeles Rams. But then in November, he wanted his amateur status back. He has become a test case. Is he a professional or an amateur in track and field? Frank Shorter talked with some of the principals involved.
The federal court said that we should be before the United States Olympic Committee, where we did go, got a ruling, affirmed a factual determination that Ronaldo should be permitted to compete in domestic competition, which cleared the way for this event, which was subsequently interfered with by the International Amateur Athletic Federation.
We had to protect all the athletes in the meet, and the IAAF could have suspended these people 6 months after the fact. And so that was the important thing, to protect all of the foreign athletes attending American colleges and residing in and clubs and residing in the United States, and also the American athletes in the meet. They were also in jeopardy.
The question remains in track and field, is Ronaldo Nehemiah a professional or an amateur? Another question involves a designation of a track meet. Is it national or international, and who can compete? Frank Shorter talked with William Simon.
You know, the hypocritical part of it is that if Ronaldo were back at the University of Maryland right now, even though he's playing professional football as a graduate student, he'd be running here tonight. And I think that's wrong. And I think that we ought to remove the contradiction and the hypocrisy from the definition of amateur. And I think that would be the healthy thing to do as far as amateur athletics in this country is concerned. I think Nehemiah ought to be able to, as a professional football player, compete as a track star, just as Wilt Chamberlain could be a volleyball player, and so forth.
So you would like to see Ronaldo Nehemiah or Herschel Walker running in the Olympics, even though they might be playing professional football?
I sure would, and that's what we're going to push for as far as the United States Olympic Committee stance is concerned. I'm not optimistic that that's going to happen by 1984, but we're going to continue to push for that.
And that is the Ronaldo Skeets Nehemiah story, but Frank, as we can see, it is not a closed book.
No, Charlie, and one of the good things that will emerge from this is some sort of definition of what is a domestic track meet, and can people who are professionals in one sport compete as amateurs still in these domestic track meets.
But remember, Nehemiah is eligible to compete in a purely domestic meet. This would have been his event. But Greg Foster, who has been in Nehemiah's shadow, is now the favorite, ranked #1 in the world. And this is Willie Gault, ranked #3 in the world, the outdoor TAC champion.
Greg Foster wants to break all of Ronaldo Nehemiah's records. That really is his goal. He is very happy that Ronaldo's not here, and it's his opinion that Ronaldo shouldn't be allowed to run.
In the field, Cowling, Campbell, Foster, Gault, Milburn, Stewart.
Rod Milburn at age 32, hanging in there, the Olympic champion 1972, still competing, still looking forward to the Olympics in '84.
5 flights of hurdles. Foster in lane 3, Gault in lane 4. Foster with a good start, hits the first hurdle. Willie Gault has the lead. It is Gault and Foster. Foster closes on him over the last hurdle. Greg Foster catches Willie Gault, and he wins the 60-yard high hurdles.
Greg Foster shaking his head a little bit as he came out of the tunnel. He ran 6.92 in the trial, so this race a little bit slower, but the victory is what counts. He showed great balance and timing coming over the last 2 hurdles. You'll see it right here. He times it so that he catches Willie Gault coming over the last hurdle and lets his momentum carry him through the tape. That's where the experience really shows.
The official results, Greg Foster the winner at a time of 6.96. Now the men's 60-yard dash. The world and American record is 6.04, held by Stanley Floyd, who is in lane 1. He has won here the last 2 years, but he will be challenged by a pair of football players. Ron Brown of Arizona State, also the defending national champion in this event, and the Heisman Trophy winner, Herschel Walker, in lane 5 from the University of Georgia. A strong field here in the finals. Stanley Floyd, Emmett King, James Butler, Ron Brown, Herschel Walker, and Fabian Wines. Ron Brown in lane 4, Herschel Walker in lane 5, Floyd is in lane 1. Here's Walker. Herschel, 6'1", 220 pounds. His hands behind the line, Frank.
The only thing I can think of is that Herschel's a little superstitious, because if he wanted to, he could simply move his blocks forward and be in the same position.
It is a fair start. It is Herschel Walker and Ron Brown. It is Brown. It is Walker. It is Ron Brown. Running away from Herschel Walker is Stanley Floyd, 2-time defending champion, got lost in the pack.
Ron Brown had his margin of victory on Herschel Walker coming out of the blocks, and that's what it was at the end. But Herschel's evolved now from a football player who deserved to be in these fields to someone who can win every time he goes out. Ron Brown here just holding off Herschel at the end.
The official results, Ron Brown, the senior from Arizona State, is the winner in a time of 6.11. 3rd time he's won this year. Let's go down to Bruce. He's with Herschel.
How about your shoulder? I know that's been bothering you. Has it hampered you getting ready for this track season?
Well, it's been sore a great deal. It's got a lot of soreness in it, but I've been trying to get myself ready because I realized that was a big step if you're planning on making the Olympics, and that was a big step if you're planning on beating these guys. And I sort of overlooked that because pain is something you can overlook if you really concentrate on it hard enough.
Are you going to continue to go all the way to the '84 Olympic Games?
Well, I'm planning on it. I hope that that could come true because I'm going to look forward to that.
All right, well, best of luck in all your endeavors.
Thank you.
Now let's go over to the long jump and see what Carl Lewis is up to. It's his 5th attempt. Ranked #1 in the world in the 100 meters, #1 in the world in the long jump last year. Track and Field's Athlete of the Year, and Carl Lewis is out there with a long jump. The crowd is very enthusiastic. What a great athlete Carl Lewis is. The most important stride in the long jump is just one step out from that takeoff board. Right there, as you see his body settle, getting ready to propel it up in the air. Good arm drive and good leg drive for Carl Lewis. His jump, 28 feet, 1/4 inch, just 3/4 of an inch off the world indoor record. The man that Carl Lewis is competing against all the time, although he's not in the sweats, is Bob Beeman. 29, 2 1/2. What a great athlete. And more to come. Charlie, Carl Lewis is getting ready for his final attempt in the long jump. His best previous attempt only 3/4 of an inch away from 28-1, the world record. Concentrating and using that great speed as he comes down that runway. He's out there, but it doesn't look like it's an improvement on that 28 feet, 1/4 inch jump. So Carl Lewis is our winner with a jump of 28 feet, 1/4 inch, a new meet record. 1.5 feet ahead of the competition. Vesco Bradley second and Larry Myrick's third. Well, let's go over to the pole vault, because Billy Olson is on his third attempt, 18.6 3/4 of an inch. He has to make this height to win the competition. But also, Billy Olson's been expecting all week long to go 19 feet. But he's struggling on his third attempt, 18.6 3/4 of an inch. If he makes it, it'll be a new meet record. Over! Billy Olson, a new Milrose Games record. And as he climbs out of the pit, he signals, let's put the bar up to 19 feet. Billy Olson, what a great year he's having this year. Already 2 indoor world records, 18.10 1/4 and 18.10 3/4 of an inch. Let's look at the hottest vaulter in the world and how he does it. Great plant, rears back, pushes off the pole and cleanly over the bar, 18.6 3/4 of an inch, a new meet record. A happy pole vaulter, Billy Olson. Charlie?
We look forward to Olson's attempt at 19 feet. Carl Lewis, an excellent series in the long jump, his third 28-foot jump indoors, 4 of the jumps over 27 feet. Let's go down to Bruce Jenner. He's with Carl.
Well, the day when Carl Lewis could come to a track meet and just show up and jump as far as he wanted to jump, it seems to be over with. Now, every time you come to a meet, they want to see that 29-foot jump. It puts an awful lot of pressure on you.
Well, Bruce, it does. And the thing about it is that I love it, because that's what I strive on. Pressure based on outside people and based on myself, because I'm a goal-oriented athlete. And just the pressure gets me motivated to do the things that I want to do.
What about tonight's competition?
I felt very good. It's my second meet of the '83 season, and I feel real good because I've been named Athlete of the Year. And it's just something for me to jump 28 feet anytime is special in my career, so I'm pleased with it.
Used to running at that pace. If they don't run a tactical race, we probably are going to see 4:05 or better.
This outstanding field led by Mike Starr and Miles Irish, but don't forget John Carlotti, who defeated Starr, winning the high school division of the 5th Avenue Mile. There are 7 states represented in this field.
Charlie, this has become a great tradition. This high school mile is really the quality field of the whole year, indoor or out, and it gives these kids an incentive. They really want to come here, perform in the garden, and it really produces fast times and showcases the young talent in this country.
Mike Starr on the inside, Miles Irish on the outside as they battle down the back straight, and it is Miles Irish who takes the lead. Mike Starr running second.
They were looking at each other coming off the first turn, and they ran really much too fast down the back straight. You can see how they're really slowing down now, but they went out as if they were running a 1/4 mile. Now they're settling into the pace.
And Charles Marsala, who was back at 5th or 6th, moved up outside. He settled into 3rd as Mike Starr now takes the lead from Miles Irish.
And they're actually pulling away a little bit. They're going to force the pace. If they keep going like this, we're going to come close to 4 minutes. Sometimes in these races, they're tactical from the start. Mike Starr watches Miles Irish, but that isn't happening here.
Mike Starr, Miles Irish, Charles Marsala, and Rodney Giles. John Carlotti is running 5th.
Miles Irish looks very good in 2nd place. In fact, he's chopping his steps a little bit. He's having to slow down.